All right, everyone. Today for science, we're going to finish our book about what the environment needs. And the fifth thing we're talking about is climate. So we're going to finish this book out today. All right, climate is the prevailing weather conditions in an area over a long period of time. Climatology is the study of long-term climate conditions. Meteorology focuses on short-term weather conditions that occur day to day. That's the weather report we watch every day. To define a climate, scientists observe and analyze atmospheric conditions in a given geographical area over a long period of time, 20 to 30 years. They study several phenomena: temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, amount and type of precipitation, snow or rain, wind, quantity and quality of clouds. All of this information is averaged to determine the planet's climate zones. What are Earth's climate zones? Cold climate. Cold climates are found in the polar regions, Antarctica and the Arctic, where temperatures can reach 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer and negative 40 degrees in the winter. Cold climates are also found in mountain areas. In general, the higher the mountains, the colder the temperatures. On the highest peaks, you'll find snow and ice that never melt. The coldest inhabited place on Earth is the village of Oymyakon, population 512 in the northeastern Siberia, which is in Russia. The average temperature in January is negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit, but school closes only when the temperature goes below negative 62 degrees Fahrenheit. I couldn't even imagine. Temperate climate. Found between the tropics and the polar circles, these regions cover more than half the land surface of the planet. There are three kinds of temperate climate: ocean climate, which is cool, wet winters and mild summers; Mediterranean climate, mild, wet winters and hot, dry summers; or continental climate, an inland area with harsh winters and hot, stormy summers. Tropical climate, found in areas near the equator between the tropics. This climate has very hot temperatures. Some regions receive abundant rains while others are drier. Arid climate. This climate is found in the Earth's deserts and areas where the lack of rain and humidity causes drought conditions. One of the hottest places on Earth is the Lut Desert in Iran, which, according to satellite measurements, hits a staggering 159.3 degrees Fahrenheit in 2005. There we go, sorry. Okay, here we go. Influences on the climate. The Earth's climate depends on three phenomena. Amount of sunlight is the first one. The sun's radiation or light strikes the atmosphere that surrounds the planet. Part of this radiation is reflected back into space, but the rest passes through the atmosphere to Earth. Distribution of the sun's energy is number two. Even once this radiation has passed through the atmosphere, not all of it remains. Some of it reflects back into space, especially by white surfaces like ice and snow, but some is absorbed by the Earth's surface. This absorbed energy is released as heat. The greenhouse effect is number 3. In a greenhouse, sunlight passes through the glass or plastic walls and roof and is absorbed by the planets in the soil inside, which give off heat. The greenhouse glass prevents that heat from escaping and keeping inside warm. The same thing happens with the planet. Sunlight passes through the transparent atmosphere and is absorbed by the Earth's surface and converted into heat. Gases in the atmosphere trap this heat and send it back down to Earth. This is how the planet is warmed. The main greenhouse gases are water, vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. So our eyes can see only a small part of the sun's light. This visible light appears to us as the colors of the spectrum, from red to violet. But beyond this spectrum, there is ultraviolet light and infrared light, which we can't see. Ultraviolet light can kill bacteria, but it can also damage living plants and animal tissue and cause sunburns. Hot objects radiate infrared light, which we can feel as heat. We can see infrared light with special cameras. A layer of the ozone in the upper atmosphere absorbs ultraviolet light and prevents most of it from reaching the Earth. Climate change. Over the course of its long history, the Earth has gone through many gradual climate changes, reaching temperatures much colder or much hotter than those we are experiencing today. And the Earth's atmosphere has always acted like a kind of blanket, with the greenhouse effect keeping the planet warm enough to sustain life. But unnaturally high levels of methane and carbon dioxide are now building up in the atmosphere. The rapid increase in these greenhouse gases is causing climate change. The gases are being produced by human activities, and they are forming a denser and denser layer around the Earth, trapping more heat that would normally escape back into space. This adds to the natural greenhouse effect and causes surface temperatures to rise. This is the phenomenon called global warming. By analyzing ice layers in Antarctica and Greenland, scientists can see how temperatures and the composition of gas in the atmosphere have changed over thousands of years. All right, so causes of global warming. Human activities related to industrialization and our modern lifestyles are largely responsible for the rapid rise in greenhouse gas emissions. These gases come mainly from burning fossil fuels in industry and transportation, but there are other sources. Deforestation of large tropical forests. Forests absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and hold it in their leaves and bark. It's also stored in the soil. The gas is released back into the air when the trees are burned. Intensive agriculture. Fertilizers release nitrous oxide, and large livestock farms emit methane. Air travel. The exhaust from jet planes release carbon into the atmosphere. This exhaust also remains in the cooler upper atmosphere for several hours, trapping heat that would normally escape. Melting permafrost. As the Earth's surface warms, ancient frozen swamps are melting for the first time since the last ice age, releasing methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. All right. Effects of global warming. Scientists have warned us about climate change for more than 30 years. If nothing is done to limit greenhouse gas emissions, the Earth's temperature will continue to rise. Global warming is already affecting the planet. Rising sea levels threaten some low-lying islands and coastal areas. As the oceans pull more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, acidification is occurring, making it hard for coral and shellfish to build their skeletons and shells. Extreme weather events, including torrential rains, hurricanes, and floods, grow more common as a warmer atmosphere holds more moisture. Desert areas expand as the land surface heats up. Some species die out or are forced to move to new habitats as areas grow too warm. Yeah, homes will go underwater. And our daily lives. Global warming affects some areas of the world more than others. In countries near the equator, for example, dry zones could receive even less rain, increasing the risk of famine and forcing large numbers of people to migrate in search of food. Changes in climate affect which plants can grow where. In some regions, it may become impossible to grow crops that have been farmed there for generations, upsetting the lives of the people and industries that depend on them. Disease-carrying species like mosquitoes and ticks move with the warm climate into new areas, bringing infectious illnesses such as malaria and Lyme disease. Extreme weather events increase the risks to human health. Heat waves cause respiratory problems and put special stress on children, the poor, and the elderly. All right, so let's talk about what this means for the future. The future. The path is made by walking. Antonio Machado, he's a Spanish poet. Some cultures refer to our planet as Mother Earth because the earth gives us life and nourishes all living things. Yet many people don't seem to care that over time we have created an environment that is no longer healthy. Fortunately, other people are realizing that this is the only home we have. In the late 1990s, Sebastião Salgado, a famous photographer, went back to the Brazilian rainforest farm where he grew up, but he was sad to see that because of the deforestation and drought, all the vegetation of his valley and hills had disappeared. No more birds, no more animals, nothing but a vast expanse of dust. What if we replant the forest? His wife, Leila, said. 20 years later, more than 2 million trees have been planted, and birds and other animals, many that are endangered, have returned. That's good news. Every day, people across the globe are taking action to solve our environmental challenges, improving air quality, developing renewable energies, and growing foods without using chemical fertilizers or pesticides. And every act, from the tiny to the seemingly impossible, is needed. Cities such as Vancouver, BC, British Columbia, are creating parks and planting urban forests. These green spaces reduce the effect of the heat islands, urban areas where lots of people, vehicles, and buildings share a small space, generating energy and heat that make the area warmer than the surrounding countryside. In the Philippines, people are using solar energy to turn plastic bottles into light bulbs. A bottle filled with water and a small amount of bleach to prevent bacteria growth is inserted in a hole cut into a corrugated metal roof. The water in the bottle changes the angle of the sunlight to light up the room below. It's an innovative way to bring light to poorer areas of the country. The small Swedish town of Vittsjö uses and distributes energy derived from biomass, wood waste from the forest industry, to heat its buildings. Its city buses run on biogas from food waste, and there are roughly 56 miles of bike trails in the area. People in Detroit, Michigan are transforming vacant spaces into urban farms and gardens, which provide local healthy food, jobs, and a growing sense of community in a city with high levels of poverty and food scarcity. It's not the size of the gesture that's important. It's understanding why it's necessary and then choosing to do it. We can build a better future for everyone if we all do what we can. Pack a reusable water bottle or straw, like mine. Ride your bike to school, plant a tree, or use bruised fruit to make a smoothie. These may seem like small actions, yet multiplied by millions of people, they are a way to keep our planet healthy and well. If we take care of the earth, it will also look after us. All right. Okay, today I wanted to show you the books you're going to be reading. So we have Clean Up the Earth and Recycling Resources. Then I just assigned one more. I don't know if I did that. I will go back and do that. There's a third book. Let me see. All right, here's the last book you're going to read, Studying Weather and Climates. So there's 1, 2, 3 books that I've assigned to you on EPIC. I will provide the login information and class code again for you below this video. Enjoy learning about the climate. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.